people, and welcome back to New York Outcast. This is a different type of video. Don't know what I'm going to call it, what I'm going to name it, whatever. Basically, I just wanted to kind of have a little conversation, I guess, about something I thought was kind of sad in a way. And I got to clean this gun, so expecting some calls and whatnot, so using gloves. Trying to, you know how it is trying to get in the latex sometimes, but actually I don't even think these are latex, but you know what I mean. Anyway, so yeah, you might have caught the video on the 6.5. The 6.5 Creedmoor. So there's kind of a little story on and how I got possession of that at this point, I should state. So I got to be careful with the legal terms due to my state. At this point, I don't legally own the firearm, so but I expect to have it transferred over shortly. So needless to say, the our Savage 6.5 Creedmoor here, Savage Axis 2 XP, video on it if you haven't seen it or whatever. Probably have if you're watching this, but the guy ended up, there's a guy that I know through family, a long time, was around when I was a kid, things like that, that just recently, I think it was like 2 years ago, decided to get into firearms. So basically, I decided to get something for home protection because his house has been, door's been kicked in a couple times when he's not home. Apparently it would just happen again recently when he was home. Group of teenagers going down the street, and apparently one of them just decided to run and kick his door. So he was home and got up, came to the door, seen the kid. The kid, I guess, screamed oh, something, oh shit, whatever, was shocked, ended up running away. So almost seems like a little fishing thing to me, where they just figured maybe nobody was home, maybe it was the people that did it last time. I have no idea. But needless to say, this guy's been concerned. He's had a lot of packages stolen and all types of stuff. He decides to get a gun. So he didn't speak to me about this, which I kind of find strange, but maybe he wasn't aware. Who knows? I don't know. But he ended up going to the store for a firearm for self-protection and came home with that. So which I just kind of find hilarious. I mean, except for the fact that he paid $450 for it, but doesn't know anything about firearms, doesn't know anything about, preferences, brands, calibers, basically doesn't really know anything. I don't even think he fired a gun before he fired this. When he got it after the fact, he ended up contacting me, and we went out and I got him shooting it. So couldn't hit anything with it because the scope that's supposed to be factory zeroed or bore sighted, not even close. So needless to say, it's really doing him no good. It's going to be something that ends up getting stolen more than likely. So well, I guess the guy at the gun store talked it up pretty good to him. He went in, supposedly kind of just pointed out what he wanted. Or not what he wanted, but he was looking for a gun for basically protection and hunting, because apparently he was a little nervous to say protection at the store. So in our state, New York, you'd need a pistol permit to even purchase a pistol to have in your own home. He didn't go through that process at that point or anything, still hasn't, and basically ended up with a long gun in a sense. So, but I just think it's kind of a crap deal, that the salesman hit him for like $450 plus tax and everything. on a rifle when the guy was kind of leaning towards self-defense. I understand maybe the salesman wasn't told everything, or right, but it's odd he couldn't have kind of felt it out a little better. So when I got the phone call that this guy wanted to go out, he ended up telling me that he's never shot a gun, nothing like this. Bought all this stuff and was ready to go. So I'm thinking, okay, oops, shoot. Trying to do too many things at once here. There we go. It's not slid all the way back. But needless to say, I'm thinking he's got safety equipment, something. He shows up with nothing. So the guy sold him that, didn't say anything about, hearing protection, eye protection, nothing. Obviously, I hooked the guy up. But it was just kind of a crap deal, an oversell one way and undersell another way. This guy is kind of rubbed a little wrong now that he's had a little bit of time and kind of thought through things a little bit. Obviously a bolt action rifle for an apartment in a city that has probably 10, 12 apartments off from it wouldn't be smart for home defense, I mean, there's so many different ways to look at that. Obviously, the over penetration with this being a 6.5, sheetrock doesn't stop anything well. The mobility of it, and the ease of use in a sense. So, yes, being bolt action, it could be perceived as fairly easy to use, but people unfamiliar with firearms would probably be more likely to short stroke, not pick up a round feeding or something like that, especially in a panic situation. Basically, it's, in my opinion, just not ideal for his situation, which I think he's catching on to now. I've had him out since then and plan on getting him out some more. He's really liking the handguns, but at the same time, there's a process to do that, and here it's going to take a while. So, and that's a commitment, obviously, he has to decide to make or not make. So, because it is an investment that you may not get. So, although I think he probably would. But granted, I don't know everybody's past, but if he was cleared for a long gun here, I'm sure legally he'd probably be okay. But in our area, you have to write a letter to the judge kind of asking permission after you pay for everything and go through classes and whatnot. So they still have the discretion to deny you if they choose to. So, but anyway, yeah, I don't know. I think it's crazy that the guy got stuck with something like that personally. I think it's a good rifle. It's just not for his needs. He is an older individual, has issues carrying a bit of weight or anything like that. So, something like this and a heavy barrel model just doesn't seem to make too much sense to me. Granted, I'm just me, but a handgun would be ideal, in my opinion, or a very simple maybe shotgun with birdshot in his situation. Hopefully works out. From the sounds of it, this is like a rambling video, so probably not gonna put it up, but I might. You never know. Did a shit job cleaning this. I'm cursing. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense in some places, bouncing around, but this is life. So, yeah, crazy deal for that dude. I'm not thrilled. I know he either purchased it at Walmart or it was Dick's Sporting Goods, so I'm not sure, and he said he didn't even remember because he went to both places and it was like 2 years ago. So I told him to try to find paperwork because obviously I'd like to get an idea. So I wouldn't think it was Walmart, because Walmart doesn't seem to sell anything as far as guns are concerned. So they, did sell guns. They sell long guns in New York State. They don't sell handguns, but they're not, everybody knows the story of Walmart. They take 20 minutes to get to the counter. They, give you the rigmarole. They want to know what you're buying it for, what your intentions are, which I think is just ridiculous. I've never purchased a firearm from Walmart, but I used to buy ammunition there, and I've seen a lot of people, purchase firearms there that get like read the riot act. If a girl's there with her boyfriend, they go up and down about straw purchases and things, and as if a female couldn't want a firearm or can't shoot a firearm. I don't understand. I assume it's not a normal thing maybe around here, but obviously there's a lot of impressive women shooters, so I don't understand what the issue is. But here, if a female wants to buy a gun and her husband's with her or something, they're thinking it's a straw purchase. So it's like the first thing that comes to mind. Obviously that's something that's not good, should change. But that's the way it is right now. So it's some strange stuff, in my opinion. I don't like the fact that, I honestly kind of get offended that they do that. And I'm not even a woman, so that doesn't even make sense, but, it's like belittling my lady or my mom or my daughter. It doesn't make any sense to me. Why the hell couldn't a lady want to buy a gun? But, sorry, that's a little pet peeve thing, but I actually got into it with one of the employees there about that one time, so they, basically I had to say something for the lady in a sense, because she was getting kind of harassed, and the guy kept going over it, and like, explain to the lady in this state that it's a felony. You're going to be a big issue. If she understands that, move on. Let it go. So, but the guy, like, almost wasn't going to sell her the firearm probably until I said something, which I personally, that just pissed me off. I mean, if she's legal, she understands what she's doing, let her do it. I mean, who are you to say, even on, what she was going to do with the firearm, they asked, and it shouldn't matter. Maybe she wants to use it for pest control. I mean, it doesn't matter, I mean, granted, obviously where and what, I mean, you know what I mean? It's just ridiculous. Shouldn't make a difference. So I don't understand why you gotta get an answer to that question to sell a firearm. I know legally you don't, but Walmart always tended to push things. So I would obviously never buy, a firearm from Walmart. At this point, I don't shop with them for anything. But yeah, that was basically it. This is more just like a talk and baloney video, I guess. So again, I'm not sure if I'm actually gonna put this one up or not, because I was trying to do good, but yeah, I guess YouTube, it's not too much of a thing unless you're throwing around big money, or are really good at kissing butt or something. I don't know. So, and my phone's been blowing up, so see if I can get this done before I take the gloves off. Yeah, this compact M&P, man, it's been kicking butt, I tell you. Obviously, people know Glock released their new offering with it being a 22, which is going to cost more money than this and come with crappier sights than this, hold the same amount of rounds, have a dedicated rail instead of a multiple slot rail here, and I don't know if I already stated it, but cost more money, not be covered for warranty like with Smith & Wesson. So to me, I have no interest in it. So I can see why Glock did it. In my opinion, I think it's a safe bet. Everybody wants, a carbine. Everybody wants this or that. But, and I hear people talking about ARs, which I kind of find funny because, right now with ARs, you even got Colt pulling out ARs right now. AR market's flooded. You can get them cheaper again. You almost can't shoot. Even in New York, they make ARs, which is crazy because the ones they sell for our state, I would never pay for, but they do make them and ship them out of state. Everybody's making ARs, so to make an AR, I think would be more of a novelty thing. People would just get to say because it's a Glock AR. The 22, I think, has more practical use in the sense of basically the same thing as something like this. Like, I love this little thing. It's fun. It's cheap. People say it's not the same. No, it's not the same in a sense, but obviously your recoil is different. Recoil and timing, you can shoot, in my opinion, a lot faster with this than, a bigger caliber, at least on target anyway. So they're fun. I think it's could be considered a great training tool, great first gun, great, I don't have any spare money this week, but I still want a shoot gun. So, to me, I think it makes perfect sense. So, again, I wouldn't buy one over Smith & Wesson. Not that I think Glock is bad or not a good gun or anything like that. Glock's a great gun. It's been proven over time, But I think, like everything, there's improvements, nicer stuff comes out over time. So, obviously, they don't have the track record or whatever because they haven't been in place with the same model for 30 some odd years or whatever it is now. But, shoot. But, to me, it's not worth spending more money for something without the warranty. Sorry about that. I was rudely interrupted. So, I don't know where I was. Again, this isn't a review or anything. It was just a little bit of ranting and raving, I guess, about what's been going on or what happened with this 6.5. So, which in one way I find funny, in another way I see it as sad because, like I said, that salesman almost killed it for a guy, basically, that was kind of misdirected. So now, granted, the guy may have not been 100% forthcoming with his purposes or reasons, and that could take a toll on it. So, but I think that's another issue in itself. If you don't know, you don't know. I guess you don't know what you don't know. But obviously, it's not a crime to go ask for a gun for self-protection.